2020, 2024. And if we are sincere with ourselves, would know that the electorate of Ghana has matured. Nobody can deceive it. I assure you, I believe this electorate, the Ghanaian electorate, I'm not talking of party electorate, has not rejected the value systems of our tradition. Who doesn't want respect for human rights? Who wouldn't want an economy that is generating wealth to benefit the entire population inclusively? Who would not support equality of opportunity for all the children of Ghana? All the children, from kindergarten through junior high, senior high to the universities. Ghana would support this. Who would want to live under a dictatorship that would grab people and put in detention 5 years without trial? Ghana does not support that. 2016, the nation very liberally gave us power, huge majorities. But just 4 years later, let's be critical with ourselves. What was the outcome of the 2020 election? And then just another 4 years, what was the outcome of the 2024 election? I believe we must be stopped in our tracks to tell the truth to ourselves. I believe such self
among all of them, like Dankwa and Busia and Dombo did. Throughout the campaign, nobody said anything untoward about anybody. I can assure you. And they went about telling us delegates. I was a delegate. As secretary of Greater Accra, I was the first secretary of Greater Accra in the party. Those were honorable men, honorable men. One of them is sitting there with honor as our former president. We all learned from this. And I remember carefully when President Kuffour was about to leave office in dignity and honor, and we had our Congress. And what will I do if fortune should smile on me and I should be elected? And what have I done before? I am praying all persons who are possible aspirants, let us be as the old patriotic people did. Tell everybody what you yourself you have done in your life before, what you have done in the party, and what you will do for Ghana if you should have the luck of it being elected presidential candidate of the MPP. If we should do that, this party will be successful. I want to remind you finally about the cost of this unity. The cost of this unity. Our party in the year 1979, when we had the elections that brought Liman of the PMP to power, was divided into PFP and UNC. I wrote a book on this. You only have to do JSS arithmetic and put the figures together, and you will have realized that the election was cold chop for the Dankwa Busia tradition But we decided to fight among ourselves and we lost the election. Anyone who pursues the pathway of division is not working in the interest of the party and he must be excused. Anybody, anytime, without reference to anyone, any man or woman, now or forever, who works against that established principle will not be doing us any good. And we lost. It changed the history of Ghana. Brothers and sisters of the elephant, we have come to a certain crossroad by the opening of this institute. We must learn, and that will help us a lot. There must also be what was before.
We are going to take a message from our parliamentary caucus. It will be delivered by the minority leader, accompanied by the deputy minority leader, Ma Patricia. I've seen Honorable Sapuan Prechum. I've seen Honorable Tampuli. Please kindly accompany the leadership to deliver the message from our caucus. Honorable Tampuli, I see you. Honorable Sapuan Prechum, please accompany the minority leader. Honorable Patricia PJ. Please, members of parliament, if you are here, kindly join us here. All members of parliament here, kindly join us.
Your Excellency, President John Adekum Kuffour, national officers of the party, Chair of Council of Elders, former Chief of Staff, former Speaker, Right Honorable Okwe, former leader of our parliamentary group, Honorable Oseche Mensah-Bonsu, former national officers, senior patriots, not the least, remind us why loyalty to our cause transcends momentary dissatisfaction. And let me tell you about the true costs of the principles we claim to cherish. And let me make it personal, because these principles were forged in the furnace of my own family suffering. First was my mother, a dedicated pupil teacher. She lost her livelihood because she refused to bend the knee to the 31st December Women's Movement, and as a result, she was redeployed, a weapon that they used. And she stood firm because her husband was part of this great tradition. She could have joined the 31st December Women's Movement and saved her career, but she chose loyalty to her convictions over the security of her salary. My stepfather, a hard-working mason foreman at Pomazi Pottery Enterprise in Winneba, found himself demoted and transferred to Ankafo Warehouse after the 1996 elections. Not for incompetence, not for any professional failing, but for the crime of wearing his NPP allegiance openly. His expertise, his years of dedicated service, his proven competence, all rendered worthless by political vindictiveness. And my own dad, a civil servant at the Ministry of Agriculture's Mechanization Division, became a casualty of his own courage for daring to challenge the junta's excesses. He was not merely dismissed, he was forced into exile in La Côte d'Ivoire when an opportunity arose for him to serve at the UN in Geneva. The very ministry that had cast him out refused to release his clearance letter. A 39-year-old man in his prime was forced into retirement, his expertise wasted, his family shattered, his dreams destroyed by the very petty vindictiveness of those who could not tolerate dissent. But let me tell you what this meant for a young boy trying to make sense of the world where principle came at such a crashing cost. The economic turmoil that followed these acts of political persecution nearly destroyed my education. School fees became mountains too high for a broken family to climb. As my parents struggled, my mother without her teaching post, my stepfather demoted to menial work, my father in exile, my educational future hung by the finest of threads. It was only through the bursary I won from Dr. Papa Kwesindo that my educational path was salvaged from the wreckage of political vindictiveness. But how many brilliant young minds were we able to save? How many dreams did we allow to die in the darkness of political persecution? How many children of MPP families saw their future sacrificed on the altar of their parents' principles? This is what loyalty came at a cost to my family. This is what standing for the MPP meant in practical terms. Not just political rhetoric, but empty plates, unpaid school fees, scattered families, and dreams deferred. Yet my parents never wavered. They understood something that perhaps we have forgotten, that our individual grievances pay in comparison to the collective good we serve. Dear patrons, today, as we launch this institute, let me say that it marks a new chapter in the intellectual and theological life of the new patriotic party, a true call for loyalty. It is the clearest institutional expression of our party's enduring commitment to development in freedom, to principled leadership, and to the constant renewal of the values that have defined the MPP since its inception. Over the past 3 decades, the MPP has stood as a beacon of democratic resilience, bold economic reform, and forward-looking governance. From its roots in the Dankwa Buzia Dombo tradition, the party has been guided by the values of individual freedom, the rule of law, private sector participation, civic responsibility, and progress anchored in democratic governance. The MPP has undoubtedly been the most transformative government in the Fourth Republic. Our liberal democratic foundations are not just philosophical concepts. They have produced results from the visionary social interventions of President Kuffour, like the National Health Insurance Scheme, capitation grants, and the school feeding program, to bold transformational programs under President Kuffour, including the free SHS, 1D, 1F, and not the least, the Agenda 111 policies. And yet, we must ask ourselves, in a world that is growing ever more complex and competitive, how do we ensure that we remain relevant? How do we hold to our principles while innovating to meet new realities? I believe that those answers are what have brought us here today. The truth is, the best solution for Ghana lies within the MPP. We know this, but conviction alone is not enough. We must be able to articulate that belief with clarity, depth, and confidence to the people of Ghana. If we, ourselves, do not fully understand what sets us apart. What makes our tradition the most capable of advancing Ghana's development, then how can we effectively communicate it?
Thank you. I want to thank the organizers of this event and the current leadership of the party that decided to set up this institute. I have listened to Professor Okwe. He gave the history of our tradition. And I've also listened to the minority leader in Parliament, Afenyo. Beautiful statement. But I do not want us to delude ourselves. We must ask, how come a party with the philosophy and vision for humanity, that's our main strength, humanity, of our tradition, how come we have been reduced to the current situation, a situation we all regret or must regret? How come? This thing didn't happen just like that. If we take care to look at the electoral history from 2016, 2020, 2024, and if we are sincere with ourselves, we would know that the electorate of Ghana has matured. Nobody can deceive it. I assure you, I believe this electorate, the Ghanaian electorate, I'm not talking about party electorate, has not rejected the value systems of our tradition. Who doesn't want respect for human rights? Who wouldn't want an economy that is generating wealth to benefit the entire population inclusively? Who would not support equality of opportunity for all the children of Ghana? All the children, from kindergarten through junior high, senior high to the universities. Ghana would support this. Who would want to live under a dictatorship that would grab people and put in detention 5 years without trial? Ghana does not support that. 2016, the nation very liberally gave us power, huge majorities. But just 4 years later, let's be critical with ourselves. What was the outcome of the 2020 election? And then just another 4 years, what was the outcome of the 2024 election? I believe we must be stopped in our tracks to tell the truth to ourselves. I believe such self-critical analysis would be the first step to our regaining power. And it's possible for even 2028. Professor Okwe, in telling us, narrating the history, talked of how Professor Bawumiah in his time was just one-man opposition to the very powerful, highly organized our first Prime Minister, first President Kwame Nkrumah's party in Parliament. Then they started off as Legislative Assembly. Just one man. It was his performance, one man against the heavy odds, that convinced the Northern People's Party under Chief Dombo to go and say, you, be our leader in this house. That's how Bawumiah became the leader of the tradition. It wasn't just the knowledge Bawumiah had. He had degrees, yes. PhD, first Ghanaian professor in Legon, in sociology, everything. But it wasn't just the knowledge. Nor was it just the, say, dislike of President Nkrumah or Prime Minister Nkrumah in those times. No. President Nkrumah was talking ideologies that were not founded in our culture. Bawumiah, like Dankwa before him, Dankwa unfortunately never got a chance to be part of the Legislative Assembly or Parliament. But he taught the principles, very enduring, very eternal principles that I believe the whole world is moving to support these days. Bawumiah continued with that. Common humanity, from which commitment to democratic rule, recognizing the sovereignty of the human individual came, and from which accountable governance. When the people give you their mandate by voting, they give the elected their power to go and govern. So if I give you my power to go and govern, then you must be accountable to me. That was what Dankwa and Bawumiah taught. This was what pleased the then leadership of the North. Chief Dombo, Chief Yakubu Tali, Colonel, Jato Kaleo, Abai Fakabo. Fortunately, as I sit here, I worked with all these men. I was in my 20s when I joined them. The only one I didn't have the benefits, privilege to work with was J.B. Dankwa himself. Because I came back to Ghana as a young lawyer, 1965, January. The very next month, February 65, Dr. Dankwa died in prison, detention prison. Prison detention in Sawam, apparently died on the floor. He hadn't been accused. He hadn't been found guilty. But the man persisted till his dying breath that it was humanity he would support. That's why he talked democracy. He's a martyr. He died a martyr. Bawumiah continued in that. I worked with Bawumiah because when PP came to power 69, I was 30 years old. These days, young people, I see so many of you here. You complain, oh, the youth, this party doesn't give you. No, you must strike out, go in and contest. You don't expect anybody to give you anything on a silver platter. I was 30, I contested to come to Parliament. My constituency gave it to me, and when I came to Parliament, Professor Bawumiah, the teacher that he was, perhaps he saw something in this little boy. He said, you, be the Deputy Foreign Minister of Ghana at the age of 30. I'm addressing you, the youth, because we are talking about your future in this thing. 2 years, 3 months of what I believe was a very good government, because it inherited so many problems, and the government was trying to find solutions, sometimes bitter solutions, but they were genuine solutions. The soldiers under Champon came to remove us, and I was put in Ashford prison. I stayed there for 1 year, 3 months, not being accused. I'm telling you, so the youth, when you complain these days, you must know it happened before, long before you were born. You must help yourselves. You are the majority now. I'm having to tell you, we lost power 79 as we learned from Professor Kwe. Why? Because along the way, we found that even as we all subscribe to democracy, we tended to be too individualistic. Egos were so big. Everybody will go and look into his mirror and think that is perhaps superior or better than the next man. You see, a party must be united. We must be reconciled. But if we go in with swollen egos, you've taken me for a ride, you've cheated me. I tell you, next time around you call me, I may not come. This is another thing we must admit. We are democratic. We uphold common humanity. So, a democracy really doesn't go in for tribe or religion or gender. It's the individual. One man, one vote. And if we want power, we want to present a person who would be convincing to the generality of the electorate. Can this man we are presenting help solve problems for the community at large, so the benefit spreads across the board for all? We look at that this way. If we tell the truth to ourselves, we may see that the way we've been brushed by our opponents from way back. Oh, you are a tribal party. Oh, these days we are including even religion. You do that, and it comes from our mouths, then I tell you, we are perpetuating what we should be doing to get out of we are in a rut, a chasm, a deep gorge we've been put in there. If we do not change our minds and do not think critically, and then seek solutions through hard thinking, I'm telling you, touch wood, look, we wouldn't be the first party that went out of operation. I can't mention names, but a party that used to be like the only party around. Where is it now? Where is it now? Do we want to go that way? No. Then please, let's be self-critical. Let's be self-critical. And when we face the hard facts and we are strategizing, taking into account the positives and negatives, knowing ourselves, and then knowing our opponents, and then knowing the terrain, the people, the general people of Ghana, not taking them for granted, because as I said, the electoral history should show an electorate that can change its vote within 4 years, like we experienced from 2016 to 2020, and then from 2020 to 2020, knows what it's about. Most of the electorate now, they are on campuses, university campuses. Places that used to be our readouts, our citadels, Legon, and how did we fare in Legon last election? Even with our own children there. Please, so we have serious homework. The ancient wise people, they said, make haste slowly. Make haste slowly. Don't rush, don't stampede, thinking that is the way to find solutions. No, we are dealing with all due respect, very wise electorate. And then, as I said, you may be my brother. If I feel you've dribbled me or tricked me to get to some point, and then you get there, you turn around to me, oh, come and support me. I may bow, oh, yeah, but seriously, I may deceive you. I may not come. Fair play should be the order of the day with us. We are democratic, we believe in justice. Our motto is freedom, development in freedom. And we want to feel like everybody is getting counted. So please, let's go back to the drawing board. Look at ourselves critically. Look at our opponents. Look at Ghana generally. Because the whole idea, you get the party to ask for power from Ghana, the people of Ghana, with the promise you're going to serve Ghana. If you forfeit the trust, you forfeit the trust, the people will show you. People talk monetization. Monetization. Everybody is angry. There's so much unemployment. We tend to know people. Today you get to some position and then you manage to get some money. When it comes to vote, you want to come and give me money. Oh, go and vote for me. Well, because I'm angry, I may take. But in my mind's eye, this guy I used to know. We used to share Kuffour or something together. Now he is coming to buy me to go there so he will continue to enjoy, and me, I won't even have access to him. So they will chop your money, then they go and vote against you. Then you turn around to blame them. You must blame yourselves. When it happens like that, we must blame ourselves. People. That's what Dankwa was talking about. These are our principles. And I say, I don't think any normal human being would be against these principles. This is our thing. This is our tradition. So please, young people, are here within the next 10 years or so, you might constitute about 60% of Ghana's population. It means the power is with you. Don't want free chops. There's nothing like free chop. Resolve to work. But work. Trusting in yourself, in your self-respect. Let your brain, then you have got plenty of it, work. Try to tell right from wrong. Try to see the feasible, the person that will come and talk feasibility and show you, work with him. Whether he's your brother or a tribesman or church person or whatever religion. See, work for solutions, pragmatism. Solutions. Our party has suffered a lot because our opponents, with their powerful organization and propaganda, have succeeded in making many parts of Ghana think our party is tribally based. Are you getting me? You've got people to think. You talk our party or tradition, oh, these are Akan or Asante. No, it's not that. It's not true. But have we thought of this challenge? What are our solutions to these accusations? And for as long as the perception persists, for so long, if we are not careful, we may be pushed out of the arena electorally. So please, let's be objective with ourselves. Let's talk principles. Let's look, the Rocha, who was General Secretary 69, became chairman in the 90s. One statement he made, and I never forget. He said, that we are in a party does not mean we are friends. That we are in a party doesn't mean we are friends. What it means is that we share the vision that this machinery party is the vehicle we need to get power. Earlier you told me that sole purpose of party to win power. We want to win power, then let's close ranks. Not as friends, but as people sharing the vision of using the vehicle to win power. See, analogy is, you go to Neoplan station, you board a bus, VIP. You are going to Kumasi. You buy your ticket, they seat you. The next thing you know, they've brought another person to sit by you. The journey might last 4 or 5 hours. If you don't like the face of the person next to you, you may not even look at him or her. You look at the window for the 4 or 5 hours. But at the back of your mind, you are praying that the bus will take you to your destination, Kumasi. The other person may also not like you, but he or she too would be praying that you get there safely. That's the party. We want power. Let's close rank. Reconciliation, unity.